Uh, the riff that I'm talking about is from the Beatles song "Help." George Harrison played it. Uh, Now, when the Beatles first came out, I was 13 years old, and I think I'd been playing guitar for maybe a year. I think I started when I was 12 or somewhere around there. So I've been playing guitar for just a very short while. And back in them days, when I was growing up and learning how to play guitar, you didn't have YouTube and you didn't have the internet and you didn't have tablature and all this stuff to help you learn stuff. The only way that I had, and probably most guitar players had at that time, was to really just learn from records, learn from other musicians, and maybe you could learn something from the TV or whatever. But that was just about the only way to learn because all the song books they had out back then, especially the ones that came out for the pop songs like Beatles and Top 40, were just awful. They were always in the wrong key. They were sometimes not even the right chords, and they were always written for piano usually, for the most part. So anyway, this guitar riff that I'm talking about in Help that Harrison played. Well, first of all, the way I used to learn, and I know probably a lot of the guitar players did back then, maybe other instrumentalists too, like maybe sax and piano players also did this, but is I would take an LP and it was played at normal speed at 33 and a third. Well, I would slow it down to 16, and what that would do would be it would slow the speed in half. You'd still be in key with the song, which would also be one octave lower. But it was a good way to learn stuff, and for the most part, it worked. And you could learn a lot of stuff doing it that way, and I did. But this Beatle riff, and I'm going to do it on two different guitars because I got one tuned differently. The Harrison lick goes like this. Okay, well, I wanted to learn that. And I didn't know anybody that knew how to play that lick at that time. A friend of mine who just recently passed away, Ted Paxson, uh, we were really Beatle nuts, and he liked the Beatles, I liked the Beatles, and we were all the time trying to figure out stuff. And as far as I know, he didn't know this guitar lick either. But so I would put on the LP, this is just me, uh, 33, I'd cut it in half to 16. And I want you to know why this drove me crazy. Because I'm just trying to simulate what I probably heard. I'm not sure about the right speed, but this is about the right octave. That lick sounded something like this as I was trying to learn it. Now, now, you can just imagine slowing down and hearing that. I had no idea what position he was playing, what formations he was using. I was just hearing all these notes, this warbled sound. But I spent hours probably, and probably more hours, trying to learn it this way. And it was maddening. I never did learn it that way, of course. There was just no way because you got all these open string things in there. Then you got some notes because of the chord are just one note apart. Uh, and it's just crazy. So anyway, what happened is we went to Omaha and got in a band with Scott McCarl in a band called Yellow Hair. And we were just up, had our guitars out, probably talking about the Beatles and how to play stuff, and because we did a lot of Beatles back then. And me and Ted, we didn't know it. I didn't know it. I don't think he knew it. If he did, he never did play it. So we were just sitting there talking to Scott about how that lick was played. And Scott picked up the guitar. He played the guitar upside down, strung the same way though, of course, for a right-hand person. Turned it upside down and played that lick, just like it was on the record. And I was flabbergasted that he knew that lick. And the way he learned that, I guess I wasn't smart enough to figure that out or pay attention. He said he learned it from watching the Help movie and watching what Harrison played in the position he was playing in. And I just didn't do that, and I didn't know it. I probably only saw Help once at the movie theaters. Once you saw it, that was it, unless you went and got a chance to go see it again. So you either caught stuff when you saw it the first time, maybe in a movie, and so it was just hard to learn stuff back then. But you can see how learning that lick in particular could have driven you nuts, and it did. I just thought you might find that interesting. Thank you.